Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yes, so today is just one day before Valentine's Day, right? So yes, let's talk a bit, about something side topic, right? Financial business. How are you going to celebrate your Valentine's Day tomorrow?
Oh my god, that's a very good question. Actually, don't really have a plan for that per se. Yeah, I was asking my boyfriend also how you want to celebrate it. Then he was like, oh, actually, I have no plan. So I guess we will not be celebrating per se, but probably just having a very simple dinner, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I guess as now it's still COVID period. Can't really go out and really celebrate too in big groups, right? I mean, you probably won't want to go to a crowded place with your boyfriend, right? So yeah, I guess something nice and small. It's as long everyone is happy. I guess. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what is the I do not know about you guys, but what is the most ideal presents that you want to receive from your significant other? Maybe you can talk about that. Anybody? Hello, Retreat and
Hello.
Jimmy, are you
Yes.
still there with me? Yeah. So
Yes. Yes.
what is
Sorry.
I thought I was talking to myself.
Sorry. What's the question again?
Yeah. So what is the presents that you actually want to receive from your significant other as much as possible?
Okay. As of now, I don't have a significant other. Yeah, but I think I'm more of a person who goes for things that are intangible. Yeah, so I think something that is it's just a good time spent with my loved ones is the best enough gift in this time, especially when now physical interactions are already so rare. Yeah, just spending time together physically, just talking, and just spending good quality time is something that is very treasured and very rare nowadays. Yeah, so I think that is something that we should treasure. Yep. Especially during this whole 2 years period, we have been having virtual meetings. We can't meet in person, so having to meet in person is already an achievement. Yep. In this with the loosened measures for COVID. So yeah, just looking forward to spending time, good quality time. Yep, with my loved ones. Yeah, in this case, it's for my parents or my family. Yeah. So don't have any significant other as of the moment. Yep.
Right, and then I think for myself, right, or maybe more superficial, I do not know, but I would think that, I've been spending a lot of time with my families and my loved ones, like 365 days, and I thought, Valentine's Day, why not? Is probably a good opportunity to probably get something tangible, like 1 year, one time would be interesting, would be fun. So I do not know. But for me, I guess something interesting that we can actually, consider is why not get our significant other some stocks this Valentine's Day and let it grow in compounded interest in the long term? Wouldn't that be more exciting than just to give like simple gifts like a box of chocolate or a simple meal? What about something that helps you to grow for long term and make you more money? How does that sound?
Oh yes, that is very good. Especially that can actually be that that stock actually rise and earn the compound interest. Your wedding might actually be fully paid for by the stock.
Hopefully, yeah. So that's something that I guess all of us can consider. For you guys out there who are actually watching us live, maybe you can drop in the comment what do you guys actually want to receive for this Valentine's Day that you can hint your significant other if they happen to be in the same chat too.
Yep, leave your comments down below, right? And, just share your thoughts on what gifts you want to give your significant other during this Valentine's Day. Yep. And without further ado, I think let's dive down into the stock for today, right? So
Right.
yeah, so there was a request, last week in our previous Facebook video, to share on this stock called FUTU, FUTU, right? So yeah, in fact, there were two requests from two different people. So thank you very much for your suggestion. So for today, we will be sharing, on this stock called FUTU, right? So it's a very interesting stock, right? It's a Chinese stock, and it has fallen very significantly, right? Since 2021. So yeah, so what's our take on this, right? Um, so without further ado, let me start the sharing. Yep, by sharing my screen. All right. Yes. Yes. So okay. So like what I mentioned here, FUTU has dropped, more than 70%, right, since its all-time high. Yep, in 2021. So later I'll show you the price chart for FUTU, and you can see that it has fallen to very attractive prices. Yep. So now it's currently trading, at a level that was last seen in 2020, right? So it's very attractive. It can be seen as very cheap. It might be a good, it might seem very good to enter at this point of time, right? But that's the question everyone has in their minds. Is it a good time to enter now? Or is it better to wait it out? Wait for a better opportunity before entering. Sorry. Yeah, before I do that, let me first go through, last week's stocks. Like, if you have been following, our stock sharing for the last session, you'll know that we are actually going through this stock called Lemonade, right? So in that video, both FINANCIALMissy and I have shared, some of the insights, on the both fundamental and technical aspects of Lemonade, right? So, let's take a quick look at what happened, what has transpired in that 1 week since we have shared on this stock. Yep. So just to briefly recap what I shared last week on the technical aspect for Lemonade. Yep. So for Lemonade, I basically showed this chart on the daily chart, and there were these three lines drawn. So we had this short-term uptrend line where it was supported. And there was these two more intermediate term and long-term downtrend lines, which I shared that is still trading below these two downtrend lines and is still overall in a bearish state, right, on the intermediate to long-term basis. But on the short-term basis, it looks good. It's actually supported by this short-term uptrend line. So where have we come from, since then, right? Since 1 week ago. Right. So, if you haven't watched the video, I urge you to go back and watch that video. The link is in the description box below. So, I won't go through the details here, but what I would like to highlight here is basically what I mentioned in this box over here last week. So I did share, that it might be suitable for short-term scalp trading, right? Not suggested for long-term, but more on the short-term scalp trading. So basically, on the premise that the short-term uptrend line remains supported, right? So you can set a stop loss, at about 27.8, and take profit price of about 32, which corresponds to the first resistance level, right? So let's now look at the price chart for Lemonade in the week ever since. Yep. So here's the price chart, right? In the week ever since then, and you can see that first of all, right, it was trading, right. This was the first day of trading, on Monday, right. So it actually opened with a slight gap up at about $29.10, right, on the first trading day, right, on Monday. And thereafter it actually fell, below the short-term uptrend line, right. It actually broke below the short-term uptrend line and nearly triggered the cut loss price, right, of 27.80. So the lowest point was here on the 8th of February. And if you look back, it actually was very close to it, but actually didn't trigger. It didn't actually hit it. It was like 27.83, right, around there. So it was very close, but it didn't actually hit that cut loss price. So technically, if you actually were in the trade, on Monday, you'll still be in that position, in that long position, even on Tuesday, right? So what happened after that, right? After that, it actually rose back up and actually hit the target price of $32, right? So that was on a Wednesday, if I'm not wrong, right? And thereafter you can see once it hit its first resistance point, it actually retraced back down thereafter, and now it's been trading. It's closed at about $29. Yep. So actually, you can tell that this was a pretty accurate analysis from my last week sharing, right? It actually followed quite a story that I gave last week. Although it went below this uptrend line, but it didn't trigger that cut loss price, right? So we are still safe, and it actually rebounded and hit that first resistance point. Yep. So that's a quick recap on Lemonade, right? So at this point, if just a reminder, right? If you like what I've been sharing so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and comment and share this video to more people, right? So that more people can benefit from our sharing. Yep. And now let's go on to our stock pick for today, right? So we are looking at FUTU this week. So just a shout out again to these two people who watched our previous video, like Kel Pang and Eugene Yo, right? Yep, both of you. Thanks for suggesting FUTU, right? So as per your request, we are sharing this stock today, right? So hopefully you'll gain some insights on this stock in our analysis today. So, for today, I will be quickly sharing the technical aspect, before handing the time over to FINANCIALMissy, right? So, yeah, let's quickly look at the FUTU price chart, right? So this, on a broad view, the FUTU price chart for this whole period since 2020 all the way to now, right? So you can see that FUTU has actually, risen, in 2020 to a very high level, from $20 to almost 10 times, right, to $200 before retracing back down. And now it is trading at about $45, right, 45 US dollars. So it might seem very cheap, right, as compared to this all-time high, in 2021. But of course, we have to look back and see why did this stock actually fail, so drastically over these years. So, if we look at some of the articles, some of the recent articles, this was taken from fools.com, right, in 2021. So at that time, it actually fell quite significantly for the past few months, right? So in this piece of news, right, they have actually attributed the drop in FUTU to several different reasons, right? So one of the main reasons, right, is because this is basically a China company, right, a China state-run China brokerage company, right? So there are concerns, right, that this company might be ill-equipped, right, to comply with the new Chinese regulations, right? Yeah, Chinese government is clamping down hard on Chinese companies, right? So, FUTU being one of the Chinese company, it is also, not excluded from this. Yep. So this is, one of the articles that, attribute some of the reasons why FUTU is down. But of course, all these news, are usually reported after most of the move has been made, right? After the stock is already down a significant percentage. So what we actually want to know is what's the future, right? Or what is going to happen before it actually happens, right? So that is what we are concerned about. What is the future direction of FUTU? So to do that, right, for me, I'll look at technicals, and let's quickly dive down, right, and the technicals now and see what the technicals tell us for FUTU's future price direction. Right, so to do that, let's bring up the price chart for FUTU. Right, okay. So over here, right, we see the price chart for FUTU on the daily time scale, right? So I've drawn basically two horizontal lines over here, right? So basically, what you can conclude from this, right, is basically FUTU is currently still consolidating within this region, right? It is, trading within these regions with the top horizontal line being the resistance level and the bottom horizontal line being the support level, right? So it's still trading within this consolidation range, right? So what's my take on this, right? Basically, this can actually continue for quite some time. We will not know, we currently do not know, when it might break beyond this range, right? Either beyond this range or below this range, right? So this is something we have to probably keep in our watch list, wait and see. And, once it breaks above this resistance level, right, would there be a chance, right, that this stock might be turning up for the upside, right? But on the other hand, right, if it breaks below the support level, then it might be going for further lows, right? But let's look at other indicators, right? So on the MACD on the daily time frame, right, you can see that is a slight turning up, right? So that is actually a slight bullish indicator. But of course, this is not very conclusive yet because it has just started to turn up and anything might occur, right? You can see that it might actually turn back down and, that might negate this whole bullish indication. Right, so if we look at the shorter time scale, right, on the 1 hour time scale, yep, we can see that it actually is forming higher lows and higher highs, right, in recent times, right? But of course, this is on a very short-term basis. You can see that previously it was also forming higher lows and higher highs, but it actually fell back, right? So this, is good on the short term, but essentially we still have to see that it breaks beyond this long term, or rather this resistance line, right? Before we place a long entry, just to get that confirmation, right? Yeah, I'd like to point out another thing, right? Is that on the MACD on the short term time frame, it's actually just turned negative as well. So that's something to be mindful as well. Yep. So moving back to my price, my PowerPoint slide. Yep. So, just to conclude in summary, right? So there are both the bull and bear arguments for FUTU. So on the bull side, right, there we could see the higher lows and higher highs on the shorter time scale, the hourly time scale. And, as what I mentioned, the MACD actually turned up on the daily time scale, right? But on the bear side, there is, okay, maybe not the bear side, but some of the notes that you have to take note, right? It's for first of all, the resistance line has not been crossed yet, right? So it is still resisted by that resistance line. And, as we have seen, in the price chart earlier, right, that resistance line was also the support previously. Yeah. So if we look back, right, so this resistance line, right, it used to be the support level previously, right? So now it's resisted by this line. So it's a very key level to watch out for. Right. So that is something you have to be mindful about. That's a very key level. It has to cross that resistance line before we can turn bullish on this stock. Yep, on the mid to long term basis. Yep, and there was that MACD, right, on the hourly time scale that just turned negative as well. So that is something we have to be mindful as well. And as always, now the market is also pretty volatile. The overall market is the market sentiment is still pretty poor, with the concerns of Russia and Ukraine, right, recently. So do keep a watch out, on the overall macroeconomics, macro news, because that might also influence the individual stocks, and FUTU will not be excluded from this as well. Yeah. So what should we do for trading, right? So just a note here, right, that the results of this FUTU is basically still some time away. Yep, more than a month, in 23rd of March. So yeah, there's still ample time to place a trade. But of course, as what I've discussed earlier, I would suggest, adopting a wait and see approach first, right? Because this stock is currently still consolidating within this range. Yep, a pretty wide range of between 34 to 36 as the support, and 53 to $54 as a resistance level, right? So it's still, trading within these two levels. So what I suggest, right, if you're intending to enter a long position, right, only enter when the resistance level of 53 to $54 is broken convincingly, right? You want to, get the confirmation before you enter a long position. Yeah, but okay, on this note, right, just a disclaimer once again, this is my own opinion, right? Please do your own due diligence before entering this stock, right? Yeah, so this method might work for me, might not work for you. So ultimately, you have to be comfortable with the strategy that you have set up for yourself. Right. And so to end off, right, some reminders. So you like our sharing for today, both on the lemonade and FUTU, right? Don't forget to like and share this video. Yep, so that more people around you can benefit from our sharing. Yep, so we have our social media pages. So for me, I have my Facebook page, which I'm watching on live now. And I also my Instagram and Twitter page. So do follow me if you haven't already. Yep, and Financial Missy also has her Facebook page and Instagram. So, do follow her as well. Yep, and as always, do comment below on what you think on our short stock sharing, and suggest the next stock for our next sharing, right? Just like what you guys did last week. Yep. So if we see this value, we will definitely share it in the next session. Yep, and as you know, we do hold these sessions every Sunday at 4 p.m. Yep, so next week it'll be on Financial Missy's Facebook page, right? So now, yep, without further ado, let me hand the time over to Financial Missy, for her to delve into the fundamental aspects for FUTU. Right, over to you, Financial Missy.
Right. Thank you for sharing. It's been very insightful to talk about when and how I'm going to enter FUTU in the long term and short term trend. That's very awesome to understand. Thank you to Tree Engineer for enlightening all of us on this particular technique of yours. Awesome. Yeah. So for you guys out there, I'm Financial Missy here, and I am going to share with you guys the investment aspect of FUTU. Is FUTU a good company to invest in, or not yet? But we'll talk about it in a short while. So, yeah, I mean, FUTU is as a company itself is a China-owned company. I'm pretty sure that the trade engine has actually mentioned it just now. And of course, when it comes to a China company, there are more regulations involved. So for you guys who wants to dip your toe into this particular company, please do your own due diligence. Whatever we are going to share now, before and then, are all not financial advices, but rather as for entertainment purposes, for educational purposes, for you all to actually have a second and third opinion. So please do your own due diligence. No one strategy is the perfect strategy for yourself. Always know your own risk appetite and invest accordingly. Yeah. So without further ado, let me just share my screen. Right here. Here it is. Oh, wait, I need to press this. Oh, yay. Okay, so yeah, today I'll be going to share about FUTU. As you guys can see, I don't have much slides here because I'm not a actually not a not very fond of having like too many slides and make things complicated. I want to make this as simple as easy to understand for all of you guys out there, regardless of whether you guys are long term investors, long term expert investors, or just working out in the investment journey. I want to actually simplify everything for you guys such that you all can invest immediately. So that's my ultimate aim. Invest immediately, safely, and confidently, right? Okay, so the stock that we're talking today is actually FUTU. FUTU in Chinese. Yep. It's listed in Nasdaq as you can see in my picture. On Friday itself, the stock actually, had a $0.85 gain, which translates to 1.85%. And of course, it closed at $45.83. That is on Friday itself. And below, you see the chart over there. I'll explain the chart in a bit more detail in a little bit. Right, let me move on. So with my strategy of investing, I always like to talk about this MINT. The first one stands for microeconomy. Always know what is the microeconomy doing, right? Not knowing the microeconomy might lead you to more problems lah, because you see, you do not know what is actually happening, any whether you are able to accept the volatility that is currently in the market itself. So in general itself, you know about Omicron, you know about interest rate fears, you know about the market correction. Latest update is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And according to a news outlet from the US, right, if I'm not wrong, I read from BBC News, it says that it can happen anytime. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised that, we'll see increasing volatility in the market when the news actually puts out, right? So that's the thing. That is going to increase the volatility, the trading frequencies in the market as well. So please do your own due diligence. Don't over trade. Don't over leverage. Like if you guys cannot take on the volatility currently for now, just take a step back, chill, relax, and watch drama. Okay, drama in terms of Netflix and chill, or drama in the market itself, right? If you can take the volatility. Okay, so one more thing about microeconomy for when we talked about photo is this China presence, the footing of China in the influence of China in the market itself. As you guys know, since 2020 to 2021, the China government has actually had a very big regulation, the fintech regulation they say, to actually regulate the whole market lah. It includes FUTU. FUTU is a financial sector. That one is not spared. On top of it, you got the education sector, the gaming sector, the casino sector. That's all being re-regulated and fined. So as of now, according to news outlets, there's been pretty much died down. Not much of interesting new news or big news per se, but we never know what is going to happen in the near future. So just keep an eye out. Um, just keep a lookout. Just be safe. Don't overly leverage on this particular stock. Yeah. Okay, moving forward, current indicators for 2000, I mean for February 2022. This is actually a chart for S&P 500. Okay, index. So it's a US top 500 index. Very simple. Look at just two lines. Actually, I draw four lines, lah, but I just want you all to focus on two lines: the solid purple and the solid blue. So this is a simple moving average 50 versus 150. As you can see, it's actually still purple above blue, which means that medium to long term investment is still positive. However, if we are looking at the dotted purple and blue one, you will know that currently the market is still uh, not yet show rebound in short term investing or short term trading um, results. So you do expect a lot of volatility in the interview, especially with inflation. If I'm not wrong, recently there was a news outlet saying that inflation rate in US has reached 7.2%, the highest in I don't think it's highest in history, but highest in many years ago lah. So that is something that for you all to really expect that the interest rate hike might not be small. It might be more than what is actually being expected. So please keep a lookout. You know the results in March itself when actually the Fed do the announcement, right? So stay off. Again, I need to reiterate is that stay off the market if you guys are not comfortable with volatility, if you guys do not know what you are doing. All right. If you guys will just want to read the market, you can consider doing this thing called dollar cost averaging. Put in a certain sum periodically when you are comfortable, a certain sum of small money that periodically at the same stock, just write out the wave. Over time, you will see that there's up and down, and you'll just average out the cost price of the particular stock or even the index per se. Yeah, but just do expect volatility in the interim. Okay, so when we talk about fundamentals wise, you want to have these four goods. And number one is good business. What does FUTU do? I'm sure everybody actually knows. It's actually this online brokerage company with wealth management platform. Our headquarters is in Hong Kong, that's why it's regulated by China, and it's also in the financial sector. Yeah, right. And FUTU runs Momo, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think if from what I actually read. Right. So how's the financial? I think financial is pretty healthy, pretty good. Total revenue, total income, net profit margin actually increases year on year, with the net profit margin reaching 86.6% last year. According to the balance sheet, the current ratio is 0.1, which is awesome. Debt to equity ratio is less than 1. It's very healthy. If I'm not wrong, it was 0.6 something only, right? Price to book ratio is good at 2.49. Mm-hmm. So look at the cash flow year on year, cash from operation, cash from investment, cash from financial increasing year on year, which is good. And the free cash flow is actually very healthy as well. Okay. So in terms of valuation, how is it? I would say that FUTU is actually undervalued. The intrinsic value for FUTU is at $79.36. The severely undervalued pricing of FUTU is mainly caused by the China regulation, lah, right? Okay, and whether it's a good time to enter, you always want to look at technical analysis, and I'm sure our dear trade engineer has actually gone through a very comprehensive analysis on FUTU in terms of what is the pricing to enter, what's the range to enter, and stuff like that. But for me, when I talk about investment, I like to simplify things. Yeah. So I look at these two trend line. Blue over purple means that medium to short term profitability is not there. Currently, the stock is actually bearish if you look at medium to long term trend. So hence, for investors out there, I will not suggest for you all to enter unless you guys are actually so convicted about this stock that if this stock is going to hold long term and you are able to accept volatility, then look at the short term trend. In the short term trend, there's actually opportunity for entry. You can join me on in my upcoming course, which I have not stated the date yet. Probably next month, I will teach you guys how to actually do dollar cost averaging and leverage on short term opportunity to enter a stock confidently lah, and do using the dollar cost averaging methodology to actually see how you can actually portfolio size your own portfolio and enter a stock such that you will see you'll always right on the bottom, I mean the dips to actually gain profitability on the stock as much as possible, right? So that's all on my sharing for investing point of view. Does anybody have any questions that you guys want to raise out? Right. I see there's nobody have any questions to actually ask. Well, I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to, to broadcast that we are actually talking about FUTU. That's right, because I've been like really, really, really busy. I cannot emphasize how busy I am. So apology on my part. So if you guys are, are keen to know more about FUTU, do actually, join our Facebook pages, the trade engineers and as well as myself. Otherwise, do watch out on our replays on our respective pages as well. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, guys. So if you have any, I mean, I guess no one's watching live at the moment, but if you do catch the replay, and you have any questions, on this stock sharing, do just post a comment, in this video, and we either financial missy or I, the trade engineer, will reply to your queries, right? In as soon as can, right? So yep, do comment if you have any questions when you're watching the replay. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think our next video will be on Tencent.
Oh yes, yep. So I think
Yeah,
there
so
was another request, from the Kiao Pang, right? She actually requested for both Tencent and FUTU, right? So I guess if there's no other stocks that you guys will recommend, then we'll proceed to share on Tencent next week.
yeah. So I guess that is all that we have to share with you guys. Do actually really do portfolio sizing. Don't over leverage. This season is going to be very, very volatile. For investors out there, do actually expect a lot of volatility in your own current portfolio if you're already in. If otherwise, if you're not in yet, I would suggest to actually watch drama first lah. invest invest when the trend turns better.
Yes, correct. So I guess I echo financial Missy's words. Yeah, please, please, be wary during this season. Right, it's actually very volatile. So you don't want to end up incurring huge losses. And chase the trend. Right. Only to find out to be short. And incur losses. Right. So be very wary, be very mindful, and do your own due diligence before entering any stock, right? But yeah, if you, as what financial minister has said, if you're not sure, don't enter. It's better to not earn money than to lose money, right? Yep. So yeah, just be careful during this period and trade with caution.
Right, so that is the end of our sharing, I assume.
Yes, yep, and yeah, it's a pretty short session for today. Yep, we'll come back next week, with more sharing on another stock. So stay tuned for our next sharing. Same time at 4 p.m. On our Facebook pages, right? So next week will be on
Right.
Financial Missy page. So do keep a lookout, for our Facebook live then, right? So
Okay, awesome.
till then, see you guys and have a
Adios.
nice remaining weekend. Yes, adios.
Bye
Bye.
bye.